Good afternoon or evening, sorry for the delay, here is Chapter 2, I hope you enjoy it. The Silence That Changed Us. Cote Reaction. Chapter 2, The Butterfly That Lost Its Shine. There is no demon more effective than the one who knows how to dress in human skin. Inside the screen. This happens 3 weeks after the midterms. In the quiet hallways of Kiyaki Mall, after school had let out, walked a girl with pink hair tied in 2 pigtails. Her large glasses reflected the soft evening light filtering through the skylights. She was still wearing her school uniform and was carrying her camera. That day, she had gone to the mall to capture the golden light of the sunset, as it was one of her favorite pastimes. But as she walked through the almost deserted aisles, she didn't notice a person following her. Off-screen. Everyone was watching the screen, some nervously, others seriously, like the teachers and security guards. Sakura, who saw herself on the screen, couldn't help but get nervous since she didn't like the attention that much, although for some strange reason she felt afraid of what was going to happen. Sakura's mind, because I have a feeling something very bad is about to happen to me. This made her tremble slightly. Her teacher Chabashira, who was very serious, paid close attention to the screen while looking at the girl on the screen. Chabashira's mind, so she's the girl Lord mentioned, if I remember correctly her name was Sakura. While thinking this he frowned slightly, out of discomfort and more for knowing Lord's warning. Although Chabashira didn't notice that some students who were more perceptive to their surroundings looked at her strangely at her action. Shirashi's mind, why does the class teacher seem somewhat nervous and serious? While thinking this, she also noticed the chaos god, as well as the teachers and security guards being serious. Shirashi's mind, they look serious too. I don't know what's going on, but I have a feeling it's not going to be anything good. She thinks this while analyzing the situation. Sakayanagi's mind, fufu, I don't like this at all, the teachers, even Lord Sama, are serious about it. He thought this while unconsciously clenching his staff. Horikita's mind, I don't know why we're seeing that girl. She thinks this while noticing, like the others, the seriousness of the god of chaos and the high command. Horikita's mind, this is not to be taken lightly, and with Lord Swords, I have a feeling this won't end well at all. Manabu's mind, the higher-ups are more serious than usual, as is the god of chaos. As he thought this, his gaze shifted to Lord, who was frowning in the corner of the stage. Manabu's mind, if what the chaos god said is true, then something very serious will happen to the girl. Thinking this, his face became more serious than usual. Katsuragi's mind, this isn't giving me good vibes, especially why the god of chaos so quiet. He thought this as he looked at Lord. Koenji's mind, this can't be anything good, if even Lord Boy is serious, it's better not to take this lightly. He thinks this while putting away his mirror and now being very serious, he looked at the screen with great attention, something very rare for him. The silence was broken by some filler students. Toon Dyer student, who is that girl? He said this with confusion in his voice. Third-year students, she looks like a gloomy girl. This was said by some girls who were slightly envious of Sakura's body. Kushida, this is our classmate Sakura Eri. She said this with her fake smile, although still affected by the knowledge that her true nature would be exposed. Nagumo, at first glance, she just looks like an ordinary student. He said this with a hint of mockery. Asterisk shut up, you smoke cellar, ha 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 asterisk. Shinohara, yeah, he hardly ever talks in class. He said this casually. Karuizawa, she's just a gloomy girl. She said this to maintain her girl facade. Although that facade would fall apart in a few more videos. Ichinos, I don't think you should talk about your classmate like that. She says this in a slightly annoyed and worried tone when she sees Sakura trembling slightly, thinking that her classmate's words are affecting her. Although, well, that wasn't the case, Sakura didn't even pay attention to her classmates, she was still nervous because of the looks she was receiving from everyone. Class B, yes, Anamison is right. You shouldn't treat your classmate like that. They say this like a choir, replacing the current opera singers. Kenzaki, Ikanasa-san is right. It's not good to make fun of your classmate. She says this in support of Ichino's words. Ryuban, kukukuku, even if they are defects, they cannot be treated well. He said this in an attempt to provoke Class D, but he only half succeeded, since a few of them ignored him. That's right, I'm talking about Sudu. As incredible as it may seem, hadn't get up to yell at Ryuban, since he, along with the other two idiots, as well as the other three, continued studying like machines, so as not to be expelled. You could even see that smoke was coming out of their heads. Ryuban, so the defects want to be saved, kukukuku. Even wanting to provoke the defects, although more to Suda he said that, Altov latter was still studying, being only at the level of a 4th grade student. Ibuki, wait, what the hell is that black shadow following him? She says this when she sees on the screen that someone is following Sakura. Everyone, upon noticing this, became serious, apart from the security guards and the teachers. Even those 6 who were studying stopped doing so because of Ibuki's words. Sudu, what the hell is that person? He says this, noticing what Ibuki was saying. Ike, and because he's following Sakura-san. He says this while also noticing the shadow following Sakura. The other 3, and why the hell are the hallways almost deserted? They said this just as they noticed the hallways. Asterisk yes, if you're wondering, I just gave you about 3 more brain cells, ha 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 asterisk. Yamauchi, who cares about that, just look at Sakura's curves and breasts. He said this without fully grasping the situation. Asterisk well, I gave almost all of them brain cells. Yamauchi is a lost cause, don't expect him to perform miracles, ha 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 asterisk. Shinohara, shut up, you damn pervert, don't you see the point? He said this with annoyance and venom in his voice. Ryuban, shut up you useless little defect. You may be the biggest idiot in the whole school, but even you should at least be a little aware of what's going on. Yes, this was said by Ryuban, even Lord was a little surprised. After all the students, including Lord, gave Yamauchi death glares, Fellatter shrank back in his chair. Koenji and Manabu, I don't like this at all. They said this because they sensed the seriousness of the matter, and it could only indicate something terrible was about to happen. And that line of dialogue was shared by everyone. Sakura, seeing the screen, couldn't help but continue to tremble with fear even more intensely. Inside the screen, a vulgar-looking worker in his 30s, with a depraved gaze. He had followed this girl because he noticed her resemblance to his favorite idol, Shizuku, and spent a few months analyzing every post, leading him to discover her true identity. The girl turned a corner where there were no cameras and it was almost a dead-end alley. The worker took advantage of that and ran towards the girl, and cornered him against the wall, while a hand covered his mouth. Employee, shhhhhhh, lower your voice. He said this in a depraved whisper while staring at the girl. The girl could only obey, frightened and terrified. Employee, you read my posts, right? You know how I feel about you, right? You know. He said this with his nasty tone and depraved gaze. The girl, almost on the verge of tears, couldn't move. Employee, ha. Why don't you stop avoiding me, Sakura, you're so important to me. He said this with grotesque emotion. Ash released the hand from the girl known as Sakura's mouth. She sat down on the floor in fear. Sakura, help me please. She said this in a very low voice, while terrified. Sakura quickly got up trying to escape, but it was no use. Ash was subdued by the worker again. Employee, where do you think you're going? He said this in an angry tone that only frightened the already terrified Sakura. The employee, with a wicked smile, knocked Sakura to the ground and climbed on top of her. Employee, hey, listen, if you don't do everything I tell you, I'll publish your true identity as the idol Shizuku online for everyone to see. He said this in the same depraved tone. Sakura, unable to move, just wanted to escape, but she couldn't, while slowly her eyes filled with darkness. Employee, what's wrong? Why are you suddenly looking at me like that? The employee looked into Sakura's eyes, which were now only darkness. Employee, I can't stand it. Don't look at me like that. He shouts as he tightens his grip. Sakura, let me go. She said this while crying because of the fear she felt. She tried to break free, she tried to kick, but it was no use. Employee, let me show you how much I love you. He said this while unbuttoning Sakura's vest, and seeing this, she was still terrified. Employee, I'm not going to hurt you, then you'll be able to understand me, Shizuku. I swear. He said this with a nasty smile and almost suppressed perverse emotion. Off screen. Seeing that the shadow was an On's worker, the students were serious and then turned into anger and horror at how this worker cornered Sakura against the alley. Ibuki, what the fuck is that guy doing to that girl? He said, screaming in horror and pent-up anger. Ike, what the hell is that old man doing to Sakura-san? He said, shouting. Shinohara, damn old man, leave our partner alone, she says angrily. Karuizawa, that filthy old man must die, he said as he shouted at the screen. The two Dan 3rd-year students, damn old fucking man, leave the girl alone, they shouted at the screen. Sudu, what the hell is that trash doing to that girl? He said angrily, shouting from the rooftops. Ryuban, I don't know who that old man is, but if I meet him I'll beat him to death, he said, his mocking smile gone, replaced by a noticeable anger. Kushida, how can they do that to a student? She said while sobbing, although in her mind she was saying other things, and if they harder they would agree with her. Kushida's mind, damn old shit, because there are perverts and disgusting people like him in this world, I wish they would all die, damn it, they should give that old man the death penalty, he said, screaming inside. The teachers who had been informed by Lord earlier asked security to start recording, and one of them asked them to identify the old man in the database. While this was happening, Sakura was crying and trembling silently, which was noticed by her classmate, Hasebi Haruka, who was sitting a few seats away from her. But before anyone could speak further, they watched in horror as the old man, with a depraved look and voice, began to sexually abuse Sakura. Seeing this, Sakura could only cry, but was hugged by her classmate, Hasebi, who stood up from her seat and went to comfort her. Ibuki, damn old shit, he shouted. Koenji, an ANHS employee trying to abuse a student, what a scum of a human being. He said this in a cold tone, with a murderous aura. Most of the students watching this clenched their fists in anger and horror at what they saw before their eyes. Horikita, because the school would allow people like that in, he said with a coldness that would make more than one person freeze in fear, although most of the students were still angry about what they saw on the screen. Sakayanagi, this is disgusting. He says this with a dark aura, wanting to kill the worker. Ichinos, how can a worker do that to a student? She sobbed, her sadness and anger rising. Ryuban, I want to kill that bastard, he said, shouting because even though he was someone who liked the suffering of others, he also had limits, and what he saw angered him to the core. Albert, we must kill him and throw his remains into the garbage dump. He said this with a darkness in his voice. Yamauchi, Shizuku, Sakura is Shizuku, the internet idol, she said with emotion in her voice, unaware of what else was happening. Asterisk seriously, even I think that degenerate was Yamauchi's father, what do you think, asterisk? Saying this, Yamauchi's anger passed. Ibuki, you fucking flaw, shut the hell up, he said with venom in his voice. Ryuban, tch, Albert take care of that scum. Without saying anything else, Albert approached Yamauchi, who trembled in fear upon seeing him, and without saying anything he punched him across the face, knocking him unconscious. Seeing this, no one, not the teachers, nor security, nor Principal Sakayanagi, not even Lord, stopped him, since Yamauchi deserved it. Manabu, these acts must be punished. He said this with a cold tone. Nagumo, you're right, senpai, this must be punished. Asterisk don't worry Nagumo, Lord has something prepared especially for you, ha 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 asterisk. Hirata, please Lord, turn it off, please, he said this while looking at Lord with anger already unleashed, since he didn't want to see this anymore, it disgusted him, and he had also noticed that Sakura was still crying. Upon hearing this, the students agreed, as they no longer wanted to watch. Upon hearing this, Lord said the following. Lord, I was going to turn it off anyway. I don't like this either. It's disgusting, he said coldly, as he turned off the projector. Shiraishi, Sakura will be fine Lord S-sama, he said this with some fear, thinking the worst, and the students, security guards and teachers, who listened attentively to Lord, had the same thought. Lord, unfortunately not. Sakura Eri was sexually abused by that scum. What he said left all the students and teachers angrier than before. Ichinos, that's horrible, she said while sobbing. Most of the students also felt sad for the girl. The latter, still sobbing in Hasebi's shoulder, completely broke down upon hearing her fate. Sakayanagi, but whether he reported it or not, he said this with seriousness and a dark aura. Lord, no, unfortunately she remained silent, as she was shy about speaking to others, and the next day she dropped out of school, quit social media, and isolated herself from the world. Lord's words left everyone serious. Horikita, this is disgusting, the school shouldn't take action, he sighed as he looked at the school's top brass. Director Sakayanagi, indeed Horikita-san, the school will not forgive this, he said with a coldness in his voice. He was so angry that even his own daughter was a little afraid. Mishima, that's right, we'll make that bastard pay. Security, please find that scum and lock him up. Chabashira, that's right, we mustn't allow him to remain on fellows. Ryuban, it's not enough to lock him up. He said this with seriousness in his voice. Koenji, just like Dragon Boy said, that scum of a human being Directo take away the shine of an innocent butterfly, and I, as the perfect existence that I am, cannot allow that, he said while looking seriously at the security guards. Sudu, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I agree with Koenji and Ryuban. He says this with annoyance in his voice. He hated agreeing with them, but he also felt more hatred towards the bastard in the screen. All the students without exception agreed, some like Ichinos, Kushida, Horikita, among others, nodded their heads as a sign that they wanted him to pay. Even Hirata was clouded by the anger he felt. Lord, I have an idea. Please, Mishima, can you tell security to bring him here? He said this in a cold, yet malicious voice. Hearing this, Mishima nodded, and before security could leave, Mishima passeth word to them, and, a little puzzled, they listened. Lord, okay, now students, while we wait, do you want to play a game? What Lord said made some students upset. Hasebi, don't you see how Sakura-san is and you think about playing? He said this while still hugging Sakura. Lord, I know, I'll give you about 10 minutes to calm down. With that he disappeared. Some students tried to contain their anger at what they saw on the screen, but they couldn't. Others approached Sakura to comfort her. Others like Manabu remained serious, and others like Ryuban and Koenji wanted to know what the game was about. After 10 minutes, Lord appeared and brought with him some baseball bats, one for each student and teacher. Lord, okay students, let's play the piñata hit game, he said with a mischievous smile. Lord, and the piñata will be that garbage of a human being who enters through there. Saying this, the students directed their gaze toward the door where that disgusting old man was. Some wanted to pounce on him, but Lord with a snap put him hanging in the center off the gym upside down while he had his mouth covered with tape. Koenji, oh Lord boy, I see where you're going with this, he said with a maniacal, smug grin. The students, gradually understanding what Lord was planning, put on a maniacal smile. Even Kushida couldn't keep her mask on, although no one noticed her. Even the angel from Class C had that same smile. No, Hiyori, don't go to the dark side. Director Sakayanagi, as a director, I should forbid this, but as a human being who wants justice, I will turn a blind eye, he said with same smile as the students. Security, we'll turn a blind eye too, they said, also wanting to see garbage get its just deserts. Mishima, I'm not entirely sure about this, but if Director Sakayanagi agrees then I won't object, though well, a part of him also wanted to see the scum suffer. Lord, okay students, security, and teachers, like I said, we're going to play piñata. There won't be any candy, just delicious satisfaction, ha ha ha. After that, the baseball bats that were on the ground appeared directly in the hands of all the students, teachers, and security. Lord, well, let's play like civilized people, so women first from A to Z. With that said, Chabashira is the first to take center stage. Lord, okay Chabashira, before you start, I'll clarify that he can't die or receive injuries, but he can feel pain, so you can hit him with all your might. You only have 3 minutes, ha ha ha. With that said, Chabashira, holding the bat tightly, hit the disgusting old man again and again, while the latter cried in pain without understanding what was happening. Every time Chabashira hit him, he felt his ribs, arms, and legs break. But Chabashira didn't stop there. he hit him in the head, neck, and to finish with a flourish, with about 10 seconds left, he hit him in his sensitive parts, about 5 times with all his strength. "Chabashira, that will teach you not to abuse minors," he said with venom in his voice. The old man's vision was blurred, his entire body ached, especially his sensitive areas, as he felt as if his soul had been sewn together. Seeing this, the students were excited to see their turn. "Lord, ha ha ha, you really went too far, but that's okay. How did you feel, Chabashira?" she says while looking at the teacher who was more relaxed. "Chabashira, I feel calm now, thank you so much for the opportunity to vent," she says, bowing slightly, as she was furious about her class, but the final straw was seeing one of her students being abused in the future. "Lord, well, no problem, but anyway, please return to your seat." With that, Chabashira headed to her seat. "Lord, okay, next will be Horikita Suzun." With that said, the aforementioned stood up elegantly. "Lord, well, as I told Chabashira, you have." She couldn't continue as Horikita, with elegance and suppressed fury, began to hit the men left and right. The men could only scream, although it was barely audible. When she finished, Horikita elegantly placed the cane on a table. "Horikita, I appreciate it, and if you're wondering, it felt good," he said those clear, cutting words and sat back in his seat. "Lord, ha ha ha, you're really scary, Horikita. Okay, now next, Hoshinomiya." With that, the aforementioned girl ran quickly and, without another word, hit the old man in his privates without stopping for a second. After 3 minutes, she walked away and sat down with a no radiant smile. Class B was impressed by their teacher's reaction, but they saw it as normal since no one would be able to contain themselves, given what they saw on the screen. "Lord, you were really excited, right? Ha ha ha. Well, next up is Ibuki Mio." "Ibuki, finally, I couldn't hold back the urge to beat him up any longer," he said, approaching the stage, although he was going to ask something. "Ibuki, hey Lord, can you give that guy the healing ability? I want him to continue feeling more pain and also add nail spikes to my bat." What he said surprised everyone and terrified the old man. "Ryuban, kukukukukukuku, well there Ibuki," she said this without stopping laughing at Ibuki's idea, since she loved that idea. Now she was forming her own in her mind for when her turn comes. Most of the students, surprised by Ibuki's idea, could do nothing but applaud. Even the higher-ups said nothing, but agreed with Ibuki's idea. "Lord, ha ha ha, you're a sadist, but I love your crazy and chaotic idea," said Lord, changing his bat for one with nails, while he treated the old man. Before Lord could say he could begin, Ibuki's bat swung at the old man's crotch, and the latter, feeling such pain, screamed, but his screams weren't audible, only his tears. After a few seconds, the wound healed, but that made Ibuki smile. "Ibuki, okay, round 2, without another word, she began to swing her bat like crazy, laughing non-stop, and the old man felt like he was in complete hell. When her time was up, she put her bat aside and headed back to her seat with a maniacal, relaxed smile. "Lord, this one really went too far, but well, it seems no one has any remorse for what they saw, right?" When they said this, no one said anything, implying that they had no remorse. "Lord, well, I like that. The next ones will be Kushida Kikyo and Karuizawa K." The aforementioned approached, but Kushida, to maintain her angel facet, had to hit slowly. "Karuizawa, come on Kushida, don't hold back, do it like this." Karuizawa grabbed Kushida's hands and swung her bat at the old man. The latter was still suffering. When her time was up, Karuizawa had a happy face for having let off steam, and Kushida, although Noon noticed her, looked happy for what she did and being with her true face, although later she took on her usual attitude. "Lord, well, anyway, next ones come in." One by one, the girls from all grades and years went to give the old man the beating of his life. Sakayanagi asked for her bat to give the old man electric shocks when she hit him. Others like Shiraishi, Morishita, Hiyori, and Ichinos asked for metal bats. "That's right, metal bats, ha ha ha, they are scary." When the girls' turn ended, the boys' turn began. "Ryuban, finally they're done, kukukuku, I want to play with my new toy." "Lord, not so fast Ryuban, like I said, in order, Albert will be the first." Albert hearing this stood up from his seat, but he didn't have the bat. Instead he approached Lord. "Albert, can you give me some spiked gloves?" What Albert said surprised Lord and those who knew English. Without another word, Lord gave him a pair of boxing gloves with sharp spikes, and the moment Albert put them on, he began using the old man as a punching bag. When his time was up, he took off the gloves as he walked away. Lord, let's continue. Next up will be Principal Sakianagi, the teachers, and security. Please come up on stage. Saying this, they went up and without saying anything else they started hitting the guy with their bare hands. After finishing their time they just sat down thanking Lord. Lord, well that was unexpected, but I won't complain about their salt, ha ha ha. Before continuing, Lord approached the old man and removed the tape from his mouth. Lord, how do you feel? He said this with a mocking tone and a sadistic smile. Employee, I feel sick, please let me go. He cried, crying out of pain and fear, because even though he had no injuries, the pain was horrendous. Everyone, nobody cares, that's what you get for being a rapist. Although the employee didn't fully understand, Lord didn't give him chance to speak further and covered his mouth with tape again. Lord, enough of being civil, now everyone who's missing come and form a line, you'll only have 1 minute to vent, and although it's much less than the women's, you can ask for the pain you want to cause. What Lord said left everyone shocked. Most of the boys asked for the pain the old man felt when their fists hit Obi, like the pain of being run over. Others chose it to be like having your heart broken. Others, sicker like Ryuban and Koenji, said they want their bats to cause pain to the old man, but the pain when they break his sensitive parts but multiplied by 50. This left everyone in shock, although Lord conceded with a smile. Ryuban, kukukuku, I'm going to enjoy this, he said with a crooked smile. Koenji, you said it yourself, Dragon Boy. Even though my perfect existence doesn't like doing this kind of thing, this time I'll help Mother Earth get rid of trash like this. He said this with his usual total arrogance. Ryuban, kukukuku, stop calling me that damn nickname, you stupid narcissist. After that, the old man would be made to experience true hell. Each blow was too much for his miserable self. After a few minutes, when students finished making the old man pay, Lord snapped his fingers and handed him over to security. The latter dragged him out of the gym to take him to jail, even though they saw that the old man was dead in life, making them laugh inwardly. Asterisk, how sadistic the students are. Asterisk. Lord, okay, guys, how did you feel? He said with his maniacal smile that made the masochists blush again. Everyone, very good, they said this in unison. Shinohara, it was the best experience of my life, he says with a satisfied smile. Everyone, you can't even say it, they said in unison. Lord, ha ha ha, I can imagine, but anyway, we'll continue tomorrow. There's going to be an event that will surprise everyone. With that, everyone in the gym went to their rooms. After that, Lord made the portal appear again with a click and, getting into his carbon fiber Lamborghini, he headed to the portal and entered it. Universe G364, Universe of Free Ice Cream. Upon arriving, Lord saw his squadron eating their ice cream. Upon seeing him, they spoke to him. 2. You finally appear, Lord, some interesting universe. Lord, really? Yes, a universe where Ayanokuji died as a child. 2. Kukukuku, I don't believe that monster is dead, but with so many universes we visit, it may be true. 1. Ha ha ha, oh Dragon Boy, traveling to so many universes has already affected you. 2. Kukukuku, shut up you damn narcissist. 1. What's up, Dragon Boy? Are you still upset that I tried to flirt with one of your girl's variants? 2. Shut up Koenji, and she's not my girl, he said to his chaos partner, Koenji from Universe C405, Universe of Chaos. Lord, ha 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 ha, stop fighting, Ryuban and Koenji. Tomorrow you'll go to another universe while I'll return to the universe I was in. To Keith ice cream lover with you, speaking of which, where is he? He says this while not noticing his last chaos companion. Ryuban, kukukuku, that guy must be getting scolded by his girlfriends in our universe now. Lord, ha 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 ha, as long as they don't kill him like that time, I'll be fine. Saying this, Lord stayed to spend some time sleeping in that universe, and the next morning he appeared in the previous universe, where he saw the students entering the gym again, this time with satisfaction on their faces. Even Sakura, who looked calmer, although still affected. After they settled into their seats, Lord began to speak. Lord, good morning, students. It's a pleasure to see you again. Well, not really, but anyway, ha 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 ha. Without another word, he turned on the projector to show the next event, the event that would take the satisfied faces of some students by storm.